Worf's complete Star Trek timeline explained. Few characters in Star Trek embodied the franchise's evolution as strongly as Worf, son of Mo. Introduced in Star Trek: The Next Generation as a supporting cast member, Worf would go on to appear in more episodes of Star Trek than any other character in the franchise's history. From his beginnings as a young Klingon raised by humans, to his years of service on the Enterprise D, his political battles on Konos, and his later return in Star Trek: Picard, Worf's journey is as complex as it is groundbreaking. Here's a complete timeline of the legendary Klingon warrior. Early life and Starfleet career. Born in 2340 on the Klingon colony of Konos, Worf was the son of Mo, a Klingon noble. His childhood was abruptly shattered when his parents were killed during a Romulan attack on Khitomer in 2346. Worf was rescued and adopted by Sergei and Helena Rozhenko, a Russian Starfleet couple living on Earth. Raised among humans, Worf faced cultural challenges. He was stronger, more aggressive, and deeply tied to his Klingon instincts. But he also learned discipline through human values. His adolescence was marked by tragedy when he accidentally killed another child during a soccer match, a moment that haunted him throughout his life. Determined to honor his Klingon heritage, Worf joined Starfleet Academy and graduated in 2361, making history as the first Klingon in Starfleet, the Enterprise D era Star Trek: The Next Generation. Worf was initially assigned as a junior officer aboard the USS Enterprise D in 2364. Following the death of Tasha Yar, Captain Picard promoted Worf to Chief of Security. This move cemented him as a mainstay of the Next Generation crew. During these years, Worf struggled to reconcile his Klingon heritage with his Starfleet duty. His storyline often focused on questions of honor, loyalty, and cultural identity. He rejected the corrupt leadership of the Klingon High Council, challenged political corruption, and even discommitted himself to preserve stability in the Empire. Notably, Worf had a son, Alexander, with Kellier, a half-Klingon ambassador. His difficulties raising Alexander reflected the generational clash of Klingon tradition versus Federation ideals. By the end of TNG, Worf had not only defended the Federation countless times, but also proven that his dual identity could be a source of strength. The Dominion War and Deep Space Nine. Worf's story took a dramatic turn in 2372 when he transferred to Deep Space Nine following the events of Star Trek: Generations, where the Enterprise D was destroyed. On DS9, Worf became Strategic Operations Officer, a role that placed him at the center of the brewing Dominion War. This period was among the most defining of his life. Worf married Jadzia Dax, a true science officer, and found in her a partner who fully accepted both his Starfleet and Klingon sides. Their marriage was tragically cut short when Jadzia was killed during the Dominion War. Worf's grief drove him to seek vengeance and reaffirm his place as a Klingon warrior. Worf's tactical brilliance and combat skills proved invaluable during the Dominion War, and he served with distinction in several key battles. By the end of the war in 2375, Worf had grown into one of the Federation's most respected officers, bridging two worlds more effectively than ever before. The Klingon Chancellor's right hand. After the Dominion War, Worf briefly served as Federation ambassador to Konos, though he disliked the role. He had become an influential figure in Klingon politics, often acting as a stabilizing force in times of civil unrest. His friendship with Chancellor Marduk placed him at the heart of the Klingon Empire's leadership. This era highlighted Worf's unusual position, a Klingon raised among humans, whose greatest achievements often came not from pure Klingon honor or Federation logic, but from his ability to blend the strengths of both. Later years and return in Picard. Decades later, Worf returned to screens in Star Trek: Picard Season 3, where audiences found a calmer, more reflective warrior. No longer as brash as he once was, Worf had embraced a philosophy of restraint, preferring diplomacy and meditation over violence. However, when needed, his combat skills were as sharp as ever. Serving alongside the reunited Next Generation crew to stop the Borg threat once more, Worf demonstrated the culmination of his personal growth. He had found balance between his Klingon warrior instincts and the discipline instilled by Starfleet. His mentorship of Raffi Musiker also showed that Worf had matured into a teacher figure, guiding others as he had once been guided. Why Worf's timeline matters. Worf's complete arc is remarkable because it spans the Next Generation, Deep Space Nine, 4 Star Trek films, and Picard. No other character has had such a long, multifaceted journey in the franchise. He began as a secondary officer who embodied Klingon stereotypes, but over time, the writers expanded his character into a bridge between two civilizations. His struggles with identity, family, honor, and duty remain some of the most human and most relatable stories in Star Trek. From the battlefields of Konos to the depths of the Enterprise D, the chaos of the Dominion War, and finally, the quiet wisdom of his later years, Worf's journey is one of the most compelling in Star Trek. His timeline illustrates the complexity of identity, the challenges of cultural heritage, and the possibility of growth across decades.